to be able to do a lot of things, but you know, I wipe off the majority of the paint. I don't want much on there, but you know, just kind of give it a little test on the side. You know, you don't want it to be too thick. Just kind of get it down a little bit more, but you know, you just kind of brush it across the model. You know, and I usually sometimes use a little bit smaller one. I wanted to try this out on these guys and see how well it works. But like I said, the reason I went with the black on all their stuff is because you're done, you get that nice little highlight. This just goes on the black, and you're not constantly redoing everything. It's the same thing with all the recess armor. Just everything kind of fades together. You know, and then you can actually, you know, if you really wanted to, you could really, usually I use a little bit smaller dry brush when it comes to guys, but for the sake of the video, I wanted to see how fast I could do them. So let's see how quick we can get these guys done. If you guys are like, oh, I can speed brush and get a guy done in, you know, an hour or something like that. My goal is to get, you know, a bunch of guys done in an hour. You know, as much as I can. I have a tendency or bad habit of buying more than I should. One of my friends that you'll be seeing quite a bit when we start doing our battle reports thinks that's pretty hysterical. I think he thinks I'm doing something on the side that's worth a lot more money than what I'm actually making. But it's just really big saver all my life. So anytime I get a little extra, I just kind of don't know what to do with it, and a lot of times it seems like it goes into the game. Which I should probably be spending more time on boards and stuff like that, and getting the terrain ready. So I'm sure that's really a clump in there somewhere. But just kind of getting through them real quick. You know, and later you can really get in there and kind of, I mean, if you want, like I said, highlighting takes a little longer to do. It does look better. I'm gonna say it doesn't. Anybody who says it does, the dry brushing and highlighting are the same is wrong. I mean, if you sit there and spend your time to put the lines on their armor the way they're supposed to be, that's definitely the way to go if you have the time for it. I said mine, I got a couple kids, wife, job, got a puppy that's 82 pounds, so my time is a lot more limited now when it comes to doing these things. And then anytime I get like that, you know, too much, let's see if I can show you real quick here on this picture. You get a little bit too much on the knees or on the legs, you can always go back and, you know, either wash them. I see a lot of guys do that. That's actually a pretty good technique. I might actually try that on these guys tonight and see how it turns out for the next video, because obviously it'll take too long for them to dry to actually see what they look like tonight. You know, if you can put a little more pressure on that chest plate, especially on the symbol, that way when you whiten that out, it's much quicker than some of the other, than going back and trying to lighten it up again, then putting white on there and keep fading it. But I see the goal is just to kind of, you know, just to get that line, you know, just catching them. You know, and like I said, some of the issues you do run into with the fast dry brush is you run into that spot that you don't want the excess on there. And sometimes you do want the excess on there if you want like that light shade, you know, like the sun or something's reflecting off of their armor on the side. So the issue, that's why I kind of like the smaller dry brushes when I do like the inner legs, but that's doing all right. Then after that, what I do is I go through, and then anything that's red like their fist, that will be the next step. And then after the fist and the symbol on the shoulder, then I go and do all the bolt gun stuff, or you know, I start with one and the other one, you know, whichever one feels like it. One of the last things I work on is the skin. Most because a lot of these guys don't have helmets on, so you know, I let the metal part kind of go through first. So if you make any mistakes, you're not trying to fix it. A lot easier to go with the one color than the other. You know, the flesh tone over the metal's easier If it's just a little mistake versus, you know, trying to go back and touch up something after you've already done a face with a little bit of the metal. I've made that mistake years ago where I thought my hands were steady enough and just all of a sudden have just that hair movement or something, and you just, oh no, and you're stuck redoing that. Almost feels like you're almost redoing the whole face just to fix that one little spot the metal came, because now all of a sudden the wash isn't picking up right, or you're trying to do the skin tone isn't picking up right. I don't really care too much about that back plate because that's all going to be metal. But like I said, biggest thing is just to kind of get these guys ready so they can be play tested with, you know, colors on them that look good. You know, like I said, I'm not trying to make them look perfect. Just trying to make them look presentable. Use that word, presentable. And I'll do all that stuff that way. You know, if you guys want comments or you want to see something more detail, I always can do something more detail and do like a longer video and kind of give you the gist of, you know, hey, how does it look when you really put some detail in a time, or, you know, what would you suggest? You know, a lot of my chaos stuff, I've been trying to really stick with the old 30K colors versus the 40K colors on everything. Actually own quite a few 30K. Actually, I have a couple 30K armies that I don't actually use right now, or I use them as, you know, just a character or something like I like using Vulcan as a Terminator Lord and Cataphractii armor with a Thunder Hammer and stuff. I think it's just like a perfect built model for that. Just maybe one day they might actually bring them back. But that's all I do for those guys. So that guy, brush up real quick. And the next is going to be the red. I don't know if you've noticed on this guy, when I do these guys, I'm actually not doing the wrist. Like everybody else pretty much does. I don't know. I like them just being red hands. It also gives you a quick line, so you're not messing around too much with trying to get back there and get that fixed afterwards. This guy, we're going to use a little bigger brush. This guy real quick. And you don't have to be super big on how detailed it is. I just use Mephiston red right off the bat. A lot of guys will do different layerings. They use darker red, then Mephiston red, and then another red, and then they use a little bit of orange to touch them all up. That's fine. I mean, hey, you know, whatever you want to do. This is just the way I do it. I used to use a couple different reds to do the fist, and it just always seemed like it turned out the exact same with not using it. So I think the dark blue and the black on the hand can already act as the first one. But I use two reds. I use the Mephiston red, and then I highlight later with Evil Sun. And my highlight, I pretty much just do a quick little dry brush, just like everything else, right? Get a dry brush down there, get it done, get them on the table. But just kind of get this guy a little closer here. And just kind of do like a quick little layer here. You know, and I thin it down pretty good. Not too thick. I want to be able to just get it to glide over everything as easy as possible, because like I said, I do plan on going back over and highlighting it with a little bit lighter red to kind of get things up. If you do it just right, that blue will kind of act into the cracks itself and give it some depth. That way you're not spending the extra time on it. You just kind of just do all the knuckles real quick. Just kind of show you what I do with this guy. We're not spending too much time on it, but touch them all up like that real quick. And you know, depending on which one you're doing, you can do both hands. You can do one hand. Just make sure if you're doing one hand, you just do the right hand. So, or I'm sure the left hand. Let me rephrase that. You know, it makes a difference from if they're considered like a veteran or if they're considered not originally. I did all the Primaris guys with just one hands because, you know, they're obviously not been around that long, but I think the whole Vigilance campaign, I kind of figured, I should probably paint them both red. I originally hadn't done that. And then on the Primaris Captain, I actually didn't paint his fist red. I use a plasma pistol power fist Primaris Captain on there. Works really good with the relic, and it just gives you that a little bit better boost than obviously is, you know, use the chapter master Cantos. I don't see why you wouldn't use them ever, but that would be one of the few things I would think would be really weird to, I mean, if you're going to do that, then you might as well just play one or the other. I said I'll actually show you what I'm going to do with my Imperial Fist guys. I'm going to try to figure out a really fast way to paint yellow, besides spray painting it yellow and spray painting yellow, and then trying to just do little things here and there to make it look different. I'm going to try to see something I saw online. I wanted to use a different wash than what he was using. It seemed to come out really almost like a brown yellow versus yellow, and just gonna look kind of work. I know on the other guy I did green for the guns, so this one was gonna do bright red because they're heavy, so I figured, you know, hotter. I don't know what to call it. So I just kind of do that real quick, and then I'm just gonna do it right now. That way this video isn't like an hour long. I think we're already probably getting into that half-hour thing, which is pretty much the max I like to do. But I just take a little bit of the scarlet red, mix it up real quick here because it's a little soupy because I kind of mixed it funny. And I mix it with a little bit of the Mephiston red. That way it's not completely as bright as the rest of them. And yeah, I have a lot of brushes, so I'm just going to flip to the other brush I need here. I'm just going to have a thicker flathead brush. And just kind of do a quick dab on it. And then on his fist, I try to get this a little better in the camera here. I just kind of do a quick touch up. It just kind of gives it that brighter red look. It just kind of, you know, I don't want to go touch it super tight, just enough to try to catch everything and leave that little bit of the Mephiston, you know, more in the cracks. Just kind of do a quick touch across. So it looks decent without spending way too much time on them. But just kind of a quick thing. I'm not going to do that on the plasma part, conduits or whatever you want to call them, coils, whatever on the front here. The reason why I'm going to go with this, a straight like orange, more of a like a bright burner type color. Kind of make it look like it's really glowing hot. You know, and just kind of get everything there. So that's kind of like it for the red. The shoulder, you know, there's different things. I do the side walk, that's what I call it, just kind of walk the brush on one of the sides. Make sure I'm pulling away. Oops, I'm not on the camera, but like I said, do kind of the sidewalk here versus the line across. Use the side of the brush to just catch it. Something right there. And that way I'm not trying to catch a line all the way across and go back and fix the blue. Anytime I've done that, I've always seemed like I always have to go back and touch some part of it up where I've gone over it wrong. You just kind of get that nice little red circle, and then obviously the fist. Since I actually have both colors, just gonna do this real quick, see if we can get this to work the way I want it to. You guys get to be the experiment tonight. I kind of go the red and go that way. You know, what I might try to do is actually wash all these guys tonight. I'll try to do this guy where I don't mess the red up too bad. And then when I come back and do another video on them, I'm not gonna paint these guys all the way. Like I said, do a couple of short videos. Just kind of show you how quick we can get through them. But I think I'm gonna wash them all and see if that kind of looks better than what I've been doing. If it does, it might make me go back and redo all my other guys real quick if it catches up real quick. But I mean, that's like it. I mean, you don't need to spend a bazillion hours making a fist look like a red fist, you know. And you can do whatever you want. It's your stuff. Like I said, I'll do other guys and do stuff like that. But my goal is to make it so you don't have that. You know, just a quick way so you're not stuck playing with half painted guys and no painted guys, and then like one squad that's really nicely painted. On the chest, let's just kind of show you what I do with the white here. It's real similar, it's only take a second, to what I have already been doing. Just kind of like a side step. Using the side of the brush to do the work. I'm gonna make sure this guy's nice and dry here first real quick because I didn't grab another one. And I got a big old Custody Dreadnought upstairs that is begging to get a perfect paint job, so he's getting a lot of extra attention right now. So I have a couple of them, and I really think those guys are pretty sweet. And with the recent release of the more beta rules, they're actually much more playable than I think they were before. There's some kind of this, but just kind of show you what I'm going to do here. But literally, it's going to be just a quick touch up around. Try not to mess it up too bad here, since I'm trying to do this too quick. But yeah, there's been a lot of good rules, I think, that have been coming out lately. I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of the new White Dwarf with assassins being the thing. I haven't really used assassins a lot. I've used them actually more with my Custody army than anything, because you know, it's a nice little buff for their psychic powers, since they have no psychics, but just kind of an anti-way of doing it. I just kind of do this here. Hopefully it's looking pretty good on this guy. But that way, when I'm doing like this little side brushing, you know, I'm not going through it line by line by line, line by line. And usually I'll go back through and do a little bit on the skull, but that way, you know, his chest looks pretty good. Not wasting a ton of time with going through and highlighting each single one with a little thin brush. I have a little thin brush. I can always do it if you guys want to see it, but I mean, if you think about it, on the table, that looks just about as good as everything else. You know, I get a little, I gotta say, tired of trying to do a perfection of paint jobs, but it does get tiresome to spend, you know, 3 hours on one guy or more. I probably got guys that got 20 hours in them of painting. I'm sure my Tarian is about that far, and I haven't finished them. I just like put them down to take a break. But like I said, I'll be doing these guys. Then just kind of show you a brief thing. I was actually working on these guys earlier, which they're just yellow right now. So I got like 1.5 coats of yellow on them. So they're probably gonna need 3 to get the right shade yellow I want on them. But hey, you know, we'll get them done. I just use the Euro yellow. I think that's what Games Workshop does, but I'll get on. I'll do a squad like them, and then like I said, I might go through and wash these guys. I'm gonna think about that. before we finish him up. A lot of stuff is just going to be metal. I'll kind of show how quickly I do the metal. I did that with the Martius model. Spent a little more time on him after I did the video, but a lot of it was just to show you a quick way of getting him on the table. But always, again, thanks for tuning in. You guys have a great night and good luck gaming.